Hey, Coach. Justin again in the outfield. How you doing?
Hi, Justin. How are you?
Fitness has been a major preseason focus for you since taking over last season. Are you happy where your squad is fitness-wise as we begin the regular season?
Not 100%. We had a few guys with a few issues during preseason. The best thing is that almost everybody was on pitch today. But a few guys have to do a little more in order to be 100%. So that is going to take a little more time, but no worries so far.
Can you let who is not at 100% right now?
During the preseason, you've seen that Aidan O'Neill was not available all the time. Right at the back end of preseason, he became available again. Tallis had some minor issues halfway through from Austin, going into Coachella. Johnny Shore was one of the guys that had a few issues coming from Tampa. So, like I said, a few minor things that we had to catch up on during Coachella. And as I said just now, almost there.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Christian? We'll go with Joe.
Hey, Pascal. From the start of preseason and now as you head into the season opener, what's been maybe the biggest thing that you've seen during preseason that gives you the most optimism for the season?
That's a good question. Looking at the situation that we lost some key pieces in the team, we had to reset to make sure that we found our rhythm and the right chemistry with the players that were available and make them as fit as possible, and also try to create a unified team again. If you look at the games that we played in Coachella, there were some big phases in the game against LA and some phases against San Jose that I was quite happy with. But that is in majority, I think, the biggest win over the preseason, that we were able to connect new players together again and make sure that we head into a good start of the MLS season.
Anthony?
Hey, Coach. First off, happy 2026. With this season, you're starting in Los Angeles. It's a really big journey. Obviously, you've been in Coachella already. But how important is it to test the team in this long travel, especially when you know that they're going to have to compensate for some of the offensive issues, losing Alonso Martinez?
That is what it is. Alonso's been out for a while. The same goes for Pepe. Justin Haak made different choices. Aidan O'Neill, as I mentioned just now, has missed a part of preseason. So 4 major pieces from the squad that played consistently last season. But that's also part of the football world. We focused on the players that were available, trying to get them as fit as possible. And as you mentioned, we've been on the road for quite a while. We started off in Tampa, went back for a little bit, then traveled to Texas, and from Texas on to Coachella. And we decided to stay in California because of this first game in Los Angeles to do the best we can in order to be prepared for this first game. And we're ready. We have to deal with the situation that Alonso, Pepe, and Pepe are not available, and other players have to step up. And I have no worries that they will not do this.
John?
Hey, Pascal, how are you?
Hi, John. How are you?
Good, good. I was wondering what some of the core goals for your team were this season. Like, how is success defined for NYCFC in 2026?
Yeah, well, there's a few things, of course, that we've discussed amongst ourselves as a team and as a staff. I'm going to keep it very, very simple for you guys in the media. Like I said earlier on in this preseason, because I had the same question asked, we have to do better than we did last year. So result-wise, we finished in the 5th position that got us into the playoffs. We managed to get ourselves in a conference final. But the guys are hungry. I'm hungry as a coach. We want to do better. We want to become even more successful than we are so far. So looking back at last season is one thing. but aiming for higher and better is something that we have spoken about going into this season.
Thank you.
Chris?
Hey, Pascal. Last year, Alonso Martinez was the penalty kick taker. This year, you're without him, at least for the first half of the season. Have you decided on a penalty kick taker going into the new season? And then also, what have you learned from this team from the preseason? Thanks.
Well, of course, we have our names ready who will take the set pieces, penalty included. So hopefully we'll get a few on Sunday here in LA, and you can see who's going to be the guy behind the ball taking the penalty kicks. The things I'm happy about the most from this season, from this preseason, is the team has taken off where we left off at the end of the season. Even though we had a few key pieces not ready to compete and being training for us and playing for us, you could see the team was unified from the get-go, and that is also because they worked so hard during last season in 25. So we were able to pick up where we left off, and seeing a unified team working very hard in order to become a successful team again is something that I've enjoyed the most.
Michael?
Pascal, you mentioned the transfer that fell through a couple of weeks ago. Has that changed your expectations? It doesn't sound like you've changed your expectations, even though there was a major roster decision that didn't go your way.
Yeah, it is what it is. We were very unfortunate, and especially Musa himself was very unfortunate, of course, because he set his hopes to come to New York. It went the other way, and that is how football works as well. And as I mentioned to your colleagues just now, I focus on the players that are available for us. And we have good players. And we're still looking for players to add to our roster. That hasn't changed. But the focus for me and my staff goes to the guys that are available and making sure that they are ready to compete again. And I have complete faith in my players that they will be able to compete again at MLS level. And we can't wait for the kickoff on Sunday.
Joe?
Pascal, kind of in connection with that, you can only deal with the players you have. And in some respects, you have a new player that you didn't have available as much last year in Keaton Parks.
True.
What does that bring into the team, and how easy has it been for him and everybody else to get readjusted to Keaton being available?
That's a massive piece. I'm happy you're asking about Keats, because maybe some people already forgot about him. Looking back at the 25 season, Keats was very unfortunate with a couple of things he had to deal with. Obviously, it was a big loss for us as a team as well. But he's been healthy so far during preseason, and that is a massive accomplishment for Keats himself and the medical staff working together with Keats. So he's been on pitch almost every session he was available to train. They're monitoring him very closely in order to keep him fit. And it looks like he's going to be part of the roster from Sunday on. So I'm very happy for him, happy for the team. And as you said, Joe, it's a great player with a great personality. So we're very happy that he's part of us again.
Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Pascal, Chris Campbell from the outfield again. In your last preseason game, something that kind of garnered a lot of attention was some tactics in terms of defending corner kicks with multiple players near the center line. Is that something that's been worked on a lot? Is that something that we're just, let's use the preseason and try something new, or something that Rob Bartugan kind of came up with? Just looking to see if you can elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, that's one of the pieces that we've been looking at, of course. We've learned from last season as well. And there's some scenarios that we have prepared, and we have to make sure that the players understand when these scenarios become active and become live. So we have to do things during preseason in order to see what has been dealt with during practice and is something that we can use in games, yes or no. So this is one of the pieces, like you mentioned, that you guys saw in preseason, and it has to be available in our toolbox to be used whenever needed.
John?
I wanted to kind of quickly zoom in on Talles Magno for a moment, just to get some clarification. Is he dealing with like an injury or a knock, or is this him getting up to match fitness that's been keeping him out?
No, it's the last bit of your question. Talles came back from Brazil. He was healthy. That is something that was very important. But his training load and his match load had gone down significantly coming back from Brazil. So we had to be very mindful and careful of this also, and try to build him into that robust player that we need to be ready for the season. However, when we were in Austin, there was a minor issue with his calf, and that set him back just a little bit. And he's back in training, and he's trying to get as fit as he can be, but he needs our help, and he needs time. So that is something that we have to also keep in our considerations in order to get him as fit as possible.
Thanks for the clarification.
Javier?
Hey, Coach Javier, City Boys.
Hi, Javier.
Hey, you go against Justin Hack, former NYCFC player. Do you see that as an advantage for the team, or do you see it as a disadvantage because he might know you guys better?
Well, you never know. Maybe he doesn't discuss everything that we've been dealing with in the 25 season. Of course, it's interesting to compete against each other now instead of together. So we're looking forward to meeting Justin on pitch again, and hopefully get ourselves on the right side of the scoreboard, and leave LA with a slightly disappointed Justin Haak.
Justin?
Hey, Coach. With the Galaxy playing in CONCACAF last night, do you have any thoughts on their performance? And does a short turnaround have a big impact at the beginning of the season compared to like in the middle of the season?
That has to be seen. Obviously, it's not something that you hope for, to travel abroad, and I've seen it's been a long travel also, because it's like a 6-7 hour flight or so. So that is not helpful in preparation for the next game, especially when you play on Thursday and you have to play again on Sunday, and also knowing that you have to play again on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So that is something that I wouldn't like as a coach, but on the other hand, it is what it is. So you have to deal with it and just make sure that your squad is ready to compete again. So I have no doubt that LA Galaxy will be ready to compete against us on Sunday. And yeah, that is what it is. So looking at the game they played yesterday, obviously I think it's not the result they hope for, but it's the result they have to deal with. But that's something that they have to take care of. That's not our business. Our business is focusing on Sunday and making sure that we are ready to compete and hopefully get a good start in the MLS.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Anthony, go ahead.
Coach, I just have to ask you now, you're in year 2 as an MLS coach. What's the biggest lesson you think you've learned as a coach coming here to the United States that you're taking into the current season in 2026?
Well, actually, there's two things. One is one that I was hoping for. It's very competitive, so there are no easy games in the MLS. Every game is very competitive, and that's how I like to see the games in general. And the second piece is now I have felt and experienced the traveling part also in the MLS, which is a huge aspect within this league. I had to find my rhythm, and together with finding my own rhythm, I had to make sure that the team was ready to compete within this schedule as well. Giving the away results from the previous seasons is something that I took in consideration as well. And that has taught me a lot of lessons, helpful lessons, going into the 26 season.
Javier?
Hey, Coach Javier again. In your head, do you have a person you've decided who's going to play the number 9 in the interim? And if so, could you let us know?
That would be a very strange one if I didn't have the number 9 in my head for the first game in 2 days. But it's going to remain in my head, and you guys have to wait until Sunday.
Got it, thanks.
Nice try, though.
It was worth it.
It was worth it, yeah, true.